preparing to live stream the meeting. Preparing to live stream the meeting. Que lo voy a cerrar. ¿Ya estamos en YouTube?
Sí, ya estamos.
Ok, voy a aprender el de TikTok y por último el de Instagram.
Y se me va a hacer host.
¿Ya eres host?
Sí, ya.
Tenemos que mirar cómo poner las automatizaciones en TikTok.
Sí.
Eh, Empezamos. A ver, yo hago la cuestión del... Empezamos. Estamos en TikTok, en YouTube. Sí. Let's go to Instagram. What's going on? No sé cómo hacer que nomás los seguidores,
Vas a poner el trigger de registro, el de llamada.
el de llamada. Jessica, Jessica,
Dime.
dile a Natalia que cuando esté mensajeando a las personas que están en el live, que se asegure primero que sean seguidores.
Ok.
Ok, no sé cómo ponerle, que ya casi empezamos. Let's go. Okay, we're gonna start. Okay, now we're live on both. TikTok, can you hear me? Can you hear me, TikTok? If yes, say yes, I can. If you can hear me, say yes. If you can hear me, please say yes. TikTok, can you hear me, TikTok? Okay, good, great. Okay, so everybody can hear me. Let's enter the people.
Voy.
Let's start recording, please. Hello, everybody. Hi, everybody. Jocelyn, Jay, Char, Lorenzo, Jasmine. Great to see you today. If you could please type in the chat your intention for this class. I cannot wait to share with you the use method from our proprietary parenting with understanding methodology to correct any behavior of any child with ease, no matter if you have a strong willed or a neurodivergent child, a special needs child. These method works for every child to correct any behavior with ease. So if you could please type your intention in the chat, let me know where you're joining me from, your intention, what you want to get out of this class, and the ages of your kids. So I kind of see the age ranges and see what stories could support the best for the group that is here according to the ages. That would be amazing. 22 months. Okay, so you have almost a baby. Okay, Jasmine, thank you. Jay, Jocelyn, Jasmine, Stephanie, if you could please type in the chat what you want to get out of this class, that would be great. We are going to start in a little bit. Federico, were the reminders sent? Los reminders fueron enviados?
Sí,
Okay,
sí,
cool.
poneme.
Okay, cool. Okay, awesome. Hi, Mrs. Escobar, Sandra, Gerardo, Petra. Welcome. Welcome to HIC Parenting. I cannot wait to share with you the process that has transformed my family and that has transformed the family of
Exacto.
14,101 clients here in HIC Parenting. If you could please keep the mics off for now. We're going to talk a little bit later. And type in the chat your intention for this class. What made you to take time out of your busy day to be with me today? That will be great. I want to know what you want to get out of this class, the ages of your kids, and hopefully where you're joining us from. Atlanta, Georgia. Eliminate the screaming or threats so he can listen the first time. Okay. That's a great intention. Rita, what is your intention? Emeralda, what is your intention? Okay, so this is what we're going to do. Federico is going to share a presentation and then we're going to start this class. By the way, I want to tell you who is here from my team in HIC Parenting. Federico, wave hello. He is our tech support. Jessica, wave hello.
Oh,
So Jessica is our operations director. She's going to be assisting people in the chat as well. And then while I deliver the class, Dallas, 3-year-old toddler, help navigate tantrums and meltdowns, help regulate feelings. Okay, great. That's a great intention, Sandra. Thank you for writing it. If you have your mic on, could you please turn it off? Federico, is there a way that you could turn all mics off for now? That would be great. Okay,
Yes.
yeah. So I'm going to share with you in this class the use. Am I muted? Can you hear me, Federico?
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right. So let's go to the next slide. So what to expect from this class? Number one, part one is going to be the teaching of the use process to correct any behavior with ease. Part two is going to be the next steps if you want our team in HIC Parenting to help you integrate the use process in your family and to integrate the things that you're going to learn in this class. So your family is not reactive, is peaceful, cooperative, and then you feel you are showing up as a secure parent for your kids. And then part three, Q&A, with the time remaining, I would answer questions if we still have time remaining of this class. Kiana, a 6-year-old with ADHD and anxiety. Any other neurodivergent family here? If yes, say me. By the way, I am diagnosed with ADHD, autism, My son is autistic, ADHD, and almost like most of the, the clients who come to HIC parenting are neurodivergent families. So we love neurodivergent families. If you are, let me know. That would be awesome if there are a few here to serve. Okay, so let's go to the next one, please. A little disclaimer. So this is a class. This is not coaching. This is not therapy. This is not mental health services. So take this class as a very informative session where you're going to gain great information, and then you decide if you are going to use that information or not. So this is not mental health, behavioral health services. This is just an informative class for us to learn how to correct behaviors with ease. The stories and testimonials and the clients who are showing you their results after applying the things that you're going to learn today, that they applied it with our help, it is a reflection of what most people live and experience once they integrate these processes in their family. Now, it's not a direct promise that for sure you are going to have the same results, because it all depends on your commitment to apply what you learn faithfully and successfully. Okay, otro por favor. So, if you are a parent who is committed to raising your children away from harmful practices, I'm very curious. Could you please type in the chat, what is the harmful practice that you're trying to get away from? Is it yelling? Is it spanking? Is it timeout? Like, what do you think is the harmful practice that you want to move away from? Type it in the chat. Shouting, screaming, okay, spanking. So, if you are a parent who's trying to move away from those harmful practices and have great communication, mutual trust, and collaboration with healthy boundaries, over the next hour, I will show you how to correct any behavior of any child with ease with the three key principles of our proprietary, I always have a hard time pronouncing this, proprietary parenting with understanding methodology. Otro, por favor. Yelling and consequences that don't teach. Yeah, all this. Okay, cool. Cool. These three key principles have allowed me to teach my neurodivergent son and his strong-willed twin positive behavior in a way that they follow without having to resort to bribes, threats, yelling, or any other tactic that goes against my values. How would you feel once your children are able to learn positive behavior without bribes, threats, yelling? How would you feel when you are there? Like, once that's a reality in your home? Type it in the chat. How would you feel once you get there? Well, the beautiful thing is that you will have the formula. You will have the formula that not many people have, that the people are in social media right now don't have, once we're done with this class, to correct any behavior with ease. Thank you, Susie. This is Miguel. This is Miguel. He was 7 at that time. Yeah, now he's 9. They're growing up so fast. Otro, por favor. So let me just show you the overview of those three skills to be a secure parent, which is the use process. And then know that this class is basically breaking down every one of these three skills. So number one, understanding to correct any behavior with ease. And you can take a picture of this because this is the overview of the entire class. And if you want to post me right now, post it on the stories, on your stories, tag us at High Impact Club and say, hey, I'm learning this from Marcela Collier at High Impact Club, because this is the overview. So number one, understanding the needs beneath all behaviors. To correct any behavior with ease, it's important to understand what's underneath, what's the thing that drives the behavior. Because if we don't understand, then how are we going to address it successfully? And that's the skill of mindset. Once you have this skill, you will prevent most power struggles because you know what your children exactly need to feel at ease and collaborate with you. Have you ever had a car with the engine light going off? Going off? If yes, say yes. If no, say no. And then how do you know what's wrong with this car whose engine light is going off? By going to the hood, opening the hood, looking inside, and finding the problem, right? Right now, those behaviors are the engine lights going off. The skill of mindsight is opening the hood of your child's needs and feelings and really finding what's the cause. And we're going to talk about that today. Skill number two. Skill number two. To correct any behavior with ease, it's important to understand how to settle our children down from upset back to calm down. And these are the emotional regulation skills. Emotional regulation skills. You will calm down little storms and prevent aggression and most meltdowns. When our coaching clients are equipped with emotional regulation skills, they start seeing less tantrums and less meltdowns because they're keeping things and they're addressing things early. So the question is not how are we going to address the meltdown, is how are we going to use those emotional regulation skills to help our children with their lower little storms before they become big storms. And we're going to talk about that as well. And number three, to correct any behavior with ease, it's important to equip our children with skills to have positive behavior, positive discipline skills. You will go from putting out fires to correcting behaviors the long term. Right now, possibly you might be just putting out fires. Do you feel that you're just putting out fires all day and then you kind of like stop one and then the other one flares up 10 minutes later? Well, with the skill, Escobar, I see you. Stephanie, I see you. With the skill of positive discipline, you will go from that to truly developing skills in your kids. So those behaviors are a thing of the past. And that's basically the class. We are going to break each one of these steps in the next hour. Okay. Otro, por favor. How did I get into this? I grew up with traditional methods, like, I'm from Colombia. I grew up traditionally with the chancla. If my parents, sometimes they were patient, sometimes they were not. And when they were not, I got the chancla, I got the go to your room, don't come out until I said so, all those things. Did you grow up with chancla? If yes, say me. With wooden spoon, what did you grow up with? Let me know in the chat. So I was committed to raise my children differently, to not have them live what I lived. And in 2012, I decided to become a mom of a beautiful 7-year-old. Yes, he was 7 when he came to my life. And as much as I wanted to raise him respectfully, I kept going back, not to chancla, because I didn't do the chancla, but I kept going back to things such as timeout. I kept going back to yelling. I kept going back to threatening with removal of privileges and toys. And the connection and the relationship and the trust that was already very new for both of us, it was really hard to build because of all these disconnected practices. So I decided to become an expert on this. So much that I went back to school. I became a therapeutic provider. By the way, I worked for 10 years with children with high behavioral needs, all with different diagnoses like autism, ADHD, OCD, ODD, on these practices. understanding their needs beneath their behaviors, which is skill 1, settling them down from their stress responses, which is skill 2, emotional regulation, and educating them on positive skills, which is skill 3. My son, my foster son at the time, he went from meltdowns every single day to every other day to maybe every month to never, because he felt understood and seen, and I was able to gain cooperation from him a lot faster. All the little neighbors started to say, "Hey, Marcela, what are you doing differently? Teach me." And they were starting getting transformation as well. And one of them told me, I mean, you should open some kind of social media. This is gold. My son is not waking up in the middle of the night anymore with tantrums and crying because of this. So I decided to open HIC parenting. I decided to open HIC parenting, and that was 2020. Fast forward to now, it went from just being me, just me providing coaching services to be having an amazing team of coaches. And we have served 14,151 clients, all parents of children with sensitive nervous systems, many of them special needs kids, many of them neurodivergent kids, or strong willed kids who would not take for an answer. Break free from reactivity, from yelling, spanking, and things that they don't want to do. Bring peace to their parenting and raise their children with peace with the processes that you're going to learn today. Let's move to the next. Otro, por favor. I have to say otro, por favor, so Federico knows the cue. So I think I already talked about my story. Let's go to the otro. Otro, I think I told my story. So this is the HIC team. We have our advisors, we have our coaches, our administrative team, and of course me. And I feel very grateful that you guys are here today. And if you need our further hand holding guidance to apply these steps in your family, I will tell you a little bit later how you can book a free one-on-one session with one of us to start this process. Otro, por favor. So don't take my word for it. These are some of our clients, and we have testimonial after testimonial. If I were to show you all the stories, we would not be done today. But all these parents broke free from reactivity and are raising secure kids because of the things that you're going to learn today. They decided to take a next step and become coaching clients, and we work with them directly for a few weeks, sometimes a few months, to integrate these processes in their family and see transformation a lot sooner. So we have Mickey, neurodivergent family, Lucy, autistic mom, Valerie, autistic mom, Kelly, just the mom of 3 strong-willed, amazing kids. Nicole, the husband was not on board, and he came on board once he saw that the kids were responding to her a lot easier. And then the count goes on and on. Otro, por favor. I start being gentle, but don't remain gentle long. Okay. When you say you don't remain gentle long, what happens when you don't remain gentle? Judgment free. I just want to know. So let's start with step number 1. Understanding the needs beneath all behaviors, which is the skill of mindsight. Step number 1. Who is excited for step number 1? This is the time that you're going to start to take a lot of notes and pay attention to the words or the things that I'm saying, because it will help you a lot in the long run. I feel like after I have told you 2 or 3 times, then I lose it. Okay. It might be because of the following. Let's go to the other one, otro. A lot of the times, and me included back in the day, us parents rely a lot on cookie cutter general advice. And we go to social media and we read books and we hear things such as, let me know if you heard one of these things. It's okay to be angry, but it's not okay to hit. Gentle hands. I won't let you do ABC, hit me. I won't let you hit me. I won't let you hit your sister. Okay, let's take a deep breath and count to 10. Look at these choices. Do you want this or do you want that? Those scripts are geared towards fixing behavior, not addressing underlying causes. All these scripts that you see in social media are geared towards fixing behavior. Remember, just responding to the flashing engine lights and not going under the hood and seeing what's really happening. So does it feel to you like it's a hit or miss? Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work, or most of the time it doesn't work. It's crazy. I wonder if it's me. And then you start questioning yourself. You start questioning, like, what about if gentle parenting is not for me? Or what about I'm failing as a parent? I should do better. I already know all these things that I read and I'm still stuck. Do you feel like that? Otro, por favor. I feel seen. Yeah, sometimes they work and sometimes doesn't. And then you feel like social media gives this beautiful expectation of the perfect cupcake with the perfect icing on top and the sprinkles and pearls. And your gentle parenting cupcake comes out. That's the reality. Comes out the opposite of what you want it to be, the opposite of what is shown to you. I want to tell you something, Mrs. Escobar, Azakaya, and all the ones who are here. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. Let me tell you what's happening. Otro, por favor. In this class, I'm not going to give you scripts to fix behaviors because they don't work. And that's why it has not been your fault, because you've just been getting scripts to fix behavior when you really need to understand the root cause of the behavior. It's not about giving Tylenol and Tylenol and Tylenol to reduce the fever. It's seeing what's causing the fever on the first place. That's the same thing when it comes to emotional needs and behaviors. The same thing. So the fact that you've been getting this reality result with your cupcakes, with your gentle parenting cupcakes, is not because you're a bad parent or you don't have what it takes or you're incapable or your kids are just too rude or too strong-willed. It's because there is a missing piece, which is the skill of mindset. Let's unravel this. Let's unravel this. Are you getting aha moments so far? If yes, type it in the chat. If you have questions, type it in the chat. The reason why we're here live is because we're talking to each other. I'm not recording a video and looking at the comments later. We're talking. I'm live. It's 9:27 a.m. PST right now. I'm live with you guys. Otro, por favor. If you want to correct any behavior with ease, it's necessary to know the need that drives your child's behaviors. Necessary. Let's just think about, for a moment, let's think about something. Let's just say that you're hungry and then you're trying to fix the kids' lunch so you can fix yours. And then your husband comes or your wife comes to tell you something and you snap at him or you snap at her. What, what would you do if they tell you, calm down? What would you do or how would you feel? Again, you're hungry, you're trying to fix the kids' lunch so you can fix yours. They come to tell you something, you snap back, you snap at them, and they say, calm down. Annoyed? I would feel so frustrated and annoyed. I would feel angry. I would feel like help me, help me fix this lunch so I can eat, right? I would feel more angry. That's what we are telling our kids. That's what we are telling our kids. They have a need, and that need is making them react the way they react, with the tantrum, with the snapping sorry, with the yelling, with everything they're doing. And that's what we're telling them. Calm down. And that's when we're trying to do gentle parenting. If not, then sometimes we might be snapping back or yelling back, or like, who do you think you're talking to? So if we would get annoyed and frustrated and mad at our partner or wife or husband because they tell us to calm down when we clearly have an unmet need, why are we expecting our children to respond well when they have an unmet need? Otro, por favor. Any ahas right now? Any light bulbs? If yes, say yes. According to Dr. William Glasser, he's a researcher in the topic of behaviors linked to needs. He found that every single behavior, every single one, the hitting, the kicking, the throwing, the biting, the slapping, fighting the sibling, pushing down baby brother, all those behaviors, the lying, whatever, communicate needs. And he found that there are 5 basic needs. And by the way, with our coaching clients, we equip them with the skill to understand what behavior communicate each need on their particular child, because it looks different depending to to the kid, to the personality, the diagnosis, the personal experiences, the lifestyle, how they live in their house. So in coaching is a very personalized process. But once the client is able to understand their children to the core, meaning once they're able to open up that hood, seeing inside and seeing, okay, out of the 5 basic needs, according to Dr. William Glasser, my son has the need for survival, which is safety and physical needs. Or my daughter has the need for belonging, which is connection and inclusion. Or my 13-year-old has the need for power, which is feeling skillful, achievement, feeling capable. Or my 3-year-old has the need for freedom. That's why they're so defiant. Or my 5-year-old has the need for fun. That's why they're hitting baby sister, because they have so much energy that they don't know what to do with it. Or those sibling fights are just jealousy, the need for belonging. Once the client is able to have that skill of mindset and understand their children's needs, they have a better roadmap, a more clarity of what to do with the behavior. A lot more clarity. And I'm gonna give you an example. I'm not gonna leave you like that. I'm gonna give you an example because it needs to be clear for you guys. That's why we take weeks with our clients to equip them with the skill of not just seeing behavior, but seeing needs. So, my invitation for you is, if you're just been reacting to behavior, shift. Shift from that to unraveling needs. Every time you see a behavior, you're like, wait a second, what's the need? Every time you see a behavior, wait a second, that's the need. And how I say, if you need help with that, later on, I'm going to tell you how you can access our help. Let me give you the example. So it is kind of like the process is clear here. Otro, por favor. What happened to Kelly? She was consuming all the books, the social media advice. She was trying to address the behavior only. She has 3 under 5 now they're older, but at the time she enrolled in HIC parenting, she had 3 kids under 5, and the 5-year-old was having a lot of behaviors. Once she was able to identify the need, here it says that she was able to identify the solution. And what was the need? She was having such a hard time, the 5-year-old, adjusting to the life with two siblings younger than her, and one of them being a baby that needed a lot more from mom. Once she was Kelly, once she was able to address those underlying fears and needs and feelings, the relationship with her daughter changed completely. Now she's so fun and she feels prepared to help her when things get hard again because she understands her child's needs. That's the skill of mindset. Let me show you Kelly real quick. Kelly, por favor.
I feel so much more confident in our parenting because I know that my kids feel connected to me and fully seen.
So that's a little bit of her. I'm going to show you my process to understand needs for as a parent of an autistic child. Otro, por favor. I'm getting excited. Is it clear so far? I have a question for you. What is one thing that you can stop doing once you are an expert on understanding your child's needs? Once you have that mindset skill to look beneath the behavior and address the root need. What is one thing that you can stop doing right now once you understand your children more? Type it in the chat. I'm very curious. Stop dismissing their emotions and reactions. How do you imagine I can stop getting frustrated and pausing to my and listen and understand? Okay, great. Stop trying to control their behavior. So let me teach you the process that I used when it comes to my autistic son. It was summer camp nightmare, because it was a little nightmare for a little bit. So they were in summer camp. They had no problem going all week. It was already Friday, the end of the week, and then it was time to get ready to go to summer camp. It wasn't a want for me, it was a need because I work all day, I work full time. I needed them to go to summer camp. It was not an option to stay home. So it was time to get ready, and the twins were already a little older. I think that when that happened, they were 7. Yeah, they were 7 years old. Now they're 9. Okay, boys, it's time to get ready. And one of them, my non autistic one, started to get ready, no problem. My autistic son didn't get ready. I understand that when autistic kids, sometimes they space out, they need a lot more prompting. So I went to his face. I made sure he looked at me. By the way, he communicates well. He communicates well. He does great at school, so he can follow instructions. He looked at me, I looked at him, and I say, son, we're leaving in 15 minutes. It's time to stop playing and start getting dressed, brush your teeth, and we're gonna go. He looked at me, he smiled, and then he kept on playing and doing whatever. And I knew that he was intending to not listen to me. So the question is, what would you do if this happened to you? Regardless if we're talking about an autistic person or not, what would you do if your children did this to you? What would you do? Start counting. I'm gonna write it down. Like, say all the things that you would do in the chat, and I'm gonna write it down. Counting. Get them to listen. How would you get them to listen? Time out. Physically help them get dressed. Okay. Threatening. Okay, so how would the threatening go, Mrs. Escobar? Raise your voice. Um, deep breaths. Tell him at his, meet him at his level. Be present. Okay, be present. If you don't get dressed, then you can play Nintendo in the car. Okay, you can play Nintendo. Play a game to put the clothes on. Play a game. All right. Okay. So I did play the game. I did try to be playful, and then I did try to help him get dressed, like help him choose the outfits or whatever. And he was still not listening. I did give him the choices. He was still not listening. And that's when I knew there was something else going on. What would you do at that point? If you tell him again, if you give him the choices, if you make it a game, what would you do next? If they smile at you and keep doing whatever and the time is running out, you need to go back home because you have meetings all day. Forcefully get him dressed. Grab his arm and raise my voice. Okay, let me read so far what I have here. Counting, get him to listen, timeout, physically getting him dressed, threatening, raise your voice, grab his arm, forcefully get him to listen, tell him that if he doesn't listen, he's not going to play Nintendo. Okay, just an empathy exercise. How would you respond if somebody did all those things to you? Just for out of curiosity, how would you respond and how would you feel if somebody else did all those things to you? Upset? What else? Thank you, Janelle. What else? Sad? Mm-hmm. How else would you feel? Unheard? Yeah. I tend to do what is asked of me. Angry? All right. On the leash. Okay. Our reactions, our responses, the way that we show up for our kids always either de-escalates the behavior or escalates the behavior. I will feel more upset. I will feel sad. I will feel unheard. I will feel angry. I would on the leash. All these responses, except for the peaceful ones, would just make the behavior a lot worse. And the peaceful responses of being present, making it a game, are still behavioral responses. They're not looking to understand what's really the cause. The only one that I see could go well, like could go towards exercising mindset skills is Mavis Hernandez. You said, ask why they are getting ready. You need to start there. You need to start there. So let's go to the next slide. Otro, por favor. Okay. Every behavior communicates, I mean, parents, every single behavior. And this was not the exception. So when I noticed that playfulness was not working, and telling him again was not working, and giving him the choices was not working, instead of timeout, counting, threatening to not play Nintendo, raising my voice, grabbing the arm, and all those things that just make behaviors worse, I use my skill of mindsight to unravel the need. I looked for, number one, I looked for a pattern or a disruption of a pattern. This was a disruption of a pattern. He did not have any problems going to summer camp all week. I explore the feelings. I connect the feelings to a basic need, and I explore ways to meet the need. So let's see what happened. Otro, por favor. Why, when they're so little and it's hard to communicate? The skill of mindsight will help you understand your children even if they cannot communicate. My autistic son, he communicates well most of the time, sometimes he doesn't. My Down syndrome, nonverbal autistic brother, he does not communicate at all, and I still apply mindset skills to help him. Yeah. So let's go back to the story. What my experience. Scripts, bribes, yelling, or consequences would not help my child feel at ease during movie day. Okay, so what happened? Decline. Let's decline. Hold on. The reason why he was so not listening, not getting ready to go to summer camp, was because that day was movie day. The end of the summer camp was going to be with a movie. He is autistic. He does not go to the movies at all. He in his life he's gone to one movie, which is Despicable Me, because he loves the Leo Minions. But other than that, he does not like movies at all. So he was anxious about being movie day, and he was fearful that he was not going to have the capacity to speak up for himself and tell the teacher that he didn't want to be there. So that's why he was so defensive and not wanting to get dressed. He was anxious, he was fearful, he did not want to face that. Imagine, just imagine for a second, an autistic child who's feeling nervous and anxious and not knowing what to do, scared of going to a very sensory overwhelming experience. If I would have met that child with counting to three, or else threatening, raise my voice, grab his arm, threatening to not play PlayStation or Nintendo, how, what would that do to his not just self-esteem, but what would that do to his emotional health if I would have responded that way? What would I have done? What would it do? Hopefully, I'm saying the right thing in English. I'm trying to translate from Spanish. What would it do for a child who's dealing with such a big pressure if I would have met them that way? Suppress his feelings. Were you met that way growing up, Elizabeth? Imagine how your relationship with your children will be once you are parenting them with the understanding of their needs and not yelling, punishing, or threatening to comply. Imagine having not to try to figure this out alone, but having professionals by your side helping you master these skills. What would that do for your children? What would that do for your children once you master the skill of mindsight? So, how did we solve it? Otro, por favor. No, let's go back. Let's go back. I don't have another one. How did we solve it? I started with asking him when he was a lot younger. I started exploring with him, like, what's different. There is something about today, Friday. It's a something today, Friday, that's different from the other days. Yes, it's movie day. Okay, I see. Why are you so concerned about movie day? Because it's gonna be in the big room and I don't like it. What could help you feel a more ease? Maybe we can ask the teacher if you could go where. Is there a place that you can go? Yeah, there is a craft room, but I'm scared to ask the teacher. Don't worry. What about when we get to the school, to the summer camp, you and me talk to the teacher? I will help you. He looked at me, and yes, and guess what happened? He got ready. He got ready. I picked him up from summer camp in the afternoon, and the teacher, when I arrived, the teacher said he just went to the craft room, but most of the time he was doing well in the movie. When he was over with it, he went to the craft room, but most of the time he was in the movie. What would have happened if I would have dragged him to summer camp without understanding his needs? I would have gotten complaints from the teacher that he was disruptive, that he was melting down, that he was hitting kids. I would have gotten all that. Most of the time, we solve our children's behaviors by just gaining mindset skills and helping them solve their problems instead of having them suffer for having problems. Otro, por favor. Before I move forward with skill 2, which is the skill of emotional regulation. If you are Marcela, this makes so much sense. I want to become an expert of my child's needs. I want to feel a lot more regulated myself and not react the way I react. I want to do better, but doing it on my own has not worked. I have an invitation for you if that's you. You see the QR code on the upper left? At any point of this class, you can scan the QR code, or Federico, can you please put the link on the chat as well? Pon el link en el chat. This QR code will take you to our calendar of our team in HIC Parenting. This calendar is for you to book a free one-on-one assessment session with a member of my team in HIC Parenting. All of us are trained the same way, so whoever you get, you're going to get an amazing service. And the purpose of this call is for you to gain clarity about your particular needs, about your children's particular needs. What's keeping you in the red zone, in the reactive zone, in the yelling zone, or in the threatening zone, or whatever zone you don't want to be in? I will give you our personal recommendation of what could help you break away from that reactive pattern so you can parent your children as a secure parent with a lot more peace, with the understanding of their needs. At the very end, if you want to continue with us, we will let you know what are the next steps to become a coaching client. But whether yes or not you become a coaching client, this is not a class, this session, it's gold for you guys. Take advantage of it. Bring your spouse, bring your wife, bring your husband, because we assess the entire dynamic. So choose a time and a date that works for them. If you're a single parent, of course, it's only you. But if you have a spouse, come with them, because we assess the entire dynamic. And you will live with so much clarity to start making real changes in your family. So at any point of this class, you can scan this QR code and book your free one-on-one assessment session with us. We always booked out during these sessions. So my recommendation is to not save it for later. Throughout this class, go to the link and hopefully you find your spot. If for some reason we already booked out, we do have a waiting list. Just come back and let us know that you were not able to get in the time zone that where you are at, and then we will contact you once we go through the calls, okay, to put you on the schedule. The first thing that you will find there is a questionnaire. Answer them with detail because we do study those questions and prepare a game plan for the session with you guys. And it is a one-on-one session. Okay, so let's go to step number 2, skill number 2. We already have mind-size skills. We understand that it's not about responding to the flashing lights behavior, but understanding the needs and helping our children solve their needs. Number 2 is emotional regulation skills. Do you feel this? Like, Marcela, but I validate feelings. I offer a hug and they hit me instead. I've been trying to speak kindly, but my children won't listen unless I yell, Marcela. My family already thinks I'm too soft. And I'm already thinking, wonder if they're right. If this gentle parenting thing is not for me. Are you there? If yes, say yes. Are you there? Stefania and Andrea and everybody who's saying yes, it's not your fault. There is a missing thing. Vamos a la otra, por favor. A la otra. The truth is that there are a lot of myths around this that social media has sold us. You have to be validating your feelings for your child's feelings for hours until they stop their meltdown. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Somebody said, I would stay when I was telling the story of my son and the summer camp. I would go down to their level and be present. What about if I just did that? What about if I would have just gone down to his level and be present? Would have been late, right? So it's not just about being present or validating their feelings, it's knowing what to do, right? Otro, por favor. Let's talk about emotional regulation skills. It's not your fault why you are asking your child why they're mad and they hit you back. There is an explanation of why this is happening to you, and it has to do with the level of emotional regulation skills you and your child have. Otro, por favor. When we are triggered, let's do an act of faith here. If you're a person of faith, say me. Let's do an act of faith and pretend that this is a brain. You're a person of faith? Okay, good, Elizabeth. Me too. I'm a Christian. So let's do an act of faith and believe that that's a brain. When we are triggered, we enter our fight or flight. Our survival centers activate. And that's the blue part of the brain. It should be red. They did the wrong color, red. We are not focused on communication. We are not focused on connection. That's why you offer a hug and they hit you back because their brain is not there. Their brain is responding to a survival threat. They are in their fight or flight. Same with you. When you are triggered, when you are in your fight or flight. That's why you go to yelling and threatening and spanking and all those things that you promise yourself not to do. Otro, por favor. When your child is in survival, they respond to your level of nervous system regulation and not to the logic of your words or scripts or things that you heard in social media. Listen to this. Let me get closer. Children can differentiate between a dysregulated parent who is sounding calm and a secure parent. The question for me to you is, are you trying to be calm and not get angry? and you're trying to be calm and you're sounding calm, but you are triggered. Is that you? You are sounding calm, but you are triggered. Children, according to nervous system science, children do not respond to the tone, to the calmness of our words, but to our level of nervous system regulation. Otro, por favor. If the child knows that the parent, my pressure cooker, like, well, it's kind of almost blurred out. There is a pressure cooker at the right. Can you see, like, it's barely there? If the child knows that the parent would eventually yell or blow up, and if this is a consistent reactive pattern, the child will expect it, and their nervous system will not calm down, even if the parent is still trying to talk nicely. Those are the pressure cooker parents. There was a client, his name is Marcus. I don't have his testimonial here. It was amazing, his testimonial. His name is Marcus. He was having 2-hour bedtimes. Who is having long, eternal bedtimes? If it's you, say me. He was having 2 long bedtimes. He has ADHD. His daughter has ADHD, and his wife has ADHD. And bedtime usually started really nice and trying to do all the right things and read the book and sing the lullabies and hugs and kisses and taxins and all the things that he read in books. But the 2-hour mark, he always ended up in yelling. What happened here? The daughter didn't have a way to calm down because she was already used to that pressure cooker pattern that at some point she was going to be yelled at. So even from the start, the daughter was in her red zone, in her fight or flight, waiting for the bomb to drop, for waiting for the thing to just blow up at her feet. That's why she wasn't calming down. You need melatonin and oxytocin, which are the sleep hormones, to go to sleep. And instead, she was in hypervigilance and cortisol pumping and adrenaline. And that's a recipe for a child staying up for a long time. Once Marcus, he worked with us for 14 weeks in coaching, and he developed his emotional regulation skills to remain safe at all times with his daughter. He started deconditioning his daughter from the yell, and his daughter started expecting a secure father from beginning to end. And guess what happened? In 14 weeks, the meltdowns and the long bedtimes went from 2 hours to 20 minutes. And he even said in a testimonial, he said, I went from putting a grizzly bear to sleep to sleeping with a teddy bear. And the only thing that changed was his emotional regulation skills. But this class is child-centric. It's focused on your children. I just wanted to have that little pause on the teaching to let you know that part or big part of your child's emotional regulation depends on your level. And how I said, if you need help with that, we can help you unravel what's really happening that's taking you to pressure cooker in the one-on-one free assessment session. Otro, por favor. Otro. Pásala, por favor. Listen, emotional regulation is not trying to not be angry or running away and hiding when you and your child are dysregulated. That's emotional suppression. You're gaslighting your own self. Don't get angry, Marcela. Like, but anger is not bad. It's not about not feeling angry. Emotional regulation is the skill of understanding early signs of dysregulation so we can give our nervous systems what we need to settle down early enough to prevent getting to the point of explosion, which is the point of no return for you and your child. And that's basically what we work with Marcus. We started helping him, equipping him with emotional regulation skills to understand when he was in yellow, in orange, before he moved to red, to keep himself on those and that window of tolerance and prevent the escalation to the blow up. I'm gonna give you examples. Otro, por favor. Are you finding value in this class? If yes, say yes. If no, say no. Like, are you finding value in this class? Okay. Okay. Thank you. Okay, great. Okay. So let's talk about the early signs of dysregulation. It's not about spending hours trying to calm down a melting down child. The key is to, hold on. The key is to learn to spot on little storms before they become big tornadoes. According to crisis prevention intervention, there are 4 behavior levels. Before children are asked get to meltdown or crisis mode, we go through early signs, which is the trigger, which is when the need sparks up. When my sons knew that it was movie day, he started getting like pumping hard. That's the trigger. The anxious level, anxiety is when he was a little more agitated. He was not listening. That looking at me and smiling and keep doing what he's doing, that smile was nervous laughter. The defensiveness, he didn't get to that point because I addressed it early. But the defensiveness is when we're like, okay, if you are not getting dressed, I'm going to get you dressed. And we start threatening when children are in that level of defensiveness. And that's when the power struggles happen. And if we fail on all 3, we see the crisis and the meltdown and the tantrums. Sometimes my autistic son, escalates to meltdowns fast, and I have to deal with the meltdown, but it's very rare. It's very rare. And that's the promise, and that's what our clients see. Their children are still immature and they behave like little kids, but the meltdowns and the big uppercase behaviors such as aggression, such as meltdown and tantrums are not frequent at all because they're reading and addressing early signs. Yes, I'm learning so much. I'm seeing a whole different perspective. And you know, Vicky, you said that you have to go. My encouragement for you is to take advantage of the free one-on-one session. Just scan the QR code right now, fill up the questionnaire, look for a time and a date that works for you and your spouse, and book the assessment session. Because this class, yes, it has a lot of aha moments and golden nuggets, but at the same time, it's not personalized to you. The free one-on-one assessment session will be personalized to you. So I encourage you to do that before you go. And for the rest of you, at any point of this class, you can scan the QR code or the link is in the chat as well. And then you can book your free one-on-one assessment session. Otro, por favor. I always like to give examples. Don't you guys read? Like, I learn better when I see an example. I mean, yes, good teacher that you give me the concept, but can you help me apply it? Like, tell me a time and a place that this worked for you and how did you do it? So that's how I like to teach, with examples. This is karate. This is my son. You don't see him in social media, but because this is a private space, I'm showing him this is my son. His name is Miguel, and the kid next to him is his autistic brother. This is so great so far. I have the link. Thank you so much. Okay, Mavis. Hopefully you do it soon because we usually booked out during these classes. So hopefully you can book your one-on-one assessment session soon. Or if not, you can enter our waiting list. Okay. So how I calm down a little storm before turning into a tornado. So what happens? Karate. No, it wasn't karate. It was jujitsu. Jiu-jitsu. They're into soccer now, but they were into jiu-jitsu when they were 6. They were under the weather, so they did not go to jiu-jitsu for the entire week. The next week, that was the first day that we went back to jiu-jitsu. We got there, and one of the parents told me, I just hope, Marcela, I just hope that this week is not like last week. And I was like, what happened? And then she said, well, a lot of the kids were getting to timeout. Like the coaches were giving a lot of the kids timeout, and the behaviors were crazy, and they were like, the coaches were struggling. And I'm like, huh, okay. Because I have mindset skills, I asked her, what's the pattern? When did that happen? Well, it usually happen when they ask the kids to line up to start class because they always start class with lining up, and they have to stay there for about 5 minutes, and then the coaches line up and they kind of like say hello, like doing like bowing down. I don't know, the Leo movement that they do. And then they start with warming up. And that's kind of the ritual. So yes, they were not lining up, they were getting out of bounds, they were not listening to line up, and the kids were like the coaches were sending kids to timeout, and then it kind of spiraled from there, and then the class was just a mess. And I was thinking, hey, I could calm down this little storm before it becomes that big mess. I went to the coaches and I said, hey, I'm a parenting coach and I help parents break out of reactive patterns. I don't know if I said it that way, but I said I help parents parent their children with a lot more peace. And I know how we can have this time be a lot more peaceful if behaviors arise. Would you allow me to share with you an insight about this? They say, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I said, okay. So I went through these steps. Let's unveil the need and the trigger here. It is summer. We are in Phoenix. The kids don't go to the park. The kids don't go to the street. The kids are in summer break, so they don't have peer interaction during the day other than their siblings. They're starving for connection and they're starving for movement because all these kids have been mostly stuck in the house all day. And this is the only time that they have a big free space and that they see peers their age. And they're like, oh, I'm like, so it makes sense to me why lining up has been harder than before they went to summer break. They were like, huh, that makes sense. So what do we do? I said, we need to meet the need and we need to meet it differently. So because you have a ritual and it's not about not honoring your ritual, but how can we meet the need for peer interaction and movement while they're lining up? And they were like, huh, interesting. So they did something beautiful and they kept applying it the whole summer. The kids lined up and they're like, okay, guys, we're not gonna do timeout. We're just gonna do something different. We are going to play a game while we line up. And I think they played broken phone game and they played some other little game. And they started, and then like, and another thing is that if you feel like you need to move a lot, you can do jumping jacks or you can do squats on your position without breaking the line. Guess what happened? The trigger, the need was met, like everything was addressed at the trigger level, and the kids didn't even have to raise up to anxiety, defensiveness, crisis, nothing. Everything went on so smoothly for the rest of the summer. And that's basically an example of when you are able to have mindset skills, you can help kids calm down their little storms, their little triggers before they become this big, big, big thing. You guys you guys are kind of like, are you processing or you're disengaged? Like, I want to know, like, talk back to me. Tell me something in the comments. Is this making sense? Is this making sense? So let's go. Otro, por favor. Otro. Yes. Okay. This makes sense. Listen to this. Listen to this. Listen to this. This could save you the following month. This could save you the whole April of frustration and overwhelm and power struggles. Listen to this. You will calm down Leo storms and prevent aggression and most meltdowns when you recognize your children's early signs of dysregulation and calm it down, meeting the need before it's too late. Marisa Escobar, she is one of our coaching clients. She was dealing with long tantrums. It was crazy. And after she learned the skill of emotional regulation to be grounded herself, so she's not just sounding calm, but she is regulated. And once she learned to unveil early signs and meet it early, now her kid tantrums, yeah, he's still tantrums because he's a toddler, but his tantrums are so short, maybe 10 seconds, so short. Cynthia on the right, she is one of our coaching clients. We developed her skills in 10 weeks, I think. Yeah. Or 14 weeks. I don't know. So, what happened with her? She has a toddler and a baby. With her mindset skills, she understood that the toddler's aggression and tantrums were linked up to the adjustment of having a new baby in the house. And she started preventing Leo storms. No, she started addressing Leo storms before they became big tantrums. And this is what she's saying. Otro, por favor. Pues ponga no, el video.
My 2-year-old was having a lot of tantrums, and I just really wanted to help myself and help my son and get to the bottom of what he really needed. So now I can't even remember the last tantrum that my son has had, and
Her son is 2, and she doesn't even remember the last tantrum he's had. Not because he's perfect, but because she's catching it a lot earlier. We developed her skills, I think it was 10 weeks. Yeah. It was 10 weeks when she started feeling a lot calmer, understanding her child a lot more. She was feeling secure as a parent, and she was just addressing early signs instead of dealing with big, big upper storm meltdowns and things. How would that feel to you if your child's dysregulation is that short? How would that feel to you? Like, what would that do for your day if the tantrums were just 10 seconds? We'll be on time for things. What else? What is one thing that you can start doing once you gain emotional regulation skills? Freeing. It's possible. It's possible. But you know what? Information alone won't get you there. You need to integrate this process in your family dynamic. Otherwise, it would not happen. You need to start integrating little by little. And that's basically the purpose of coaching in HIC parenting. In coaching, we don't teach you more stuff. We help you apply. It's an application thing. It's kind of the difference between going to a class to learn about different diets or healthy eating versus working directly with your nutritionist who understands your lifestyle, your eating habits, your metabolism, and creates a plan to create results and change in your life. That's the difference between this class, which is still has a lot of value, versus coaching that is, okay, let's roll up our sleeves, let's write the plan, and let's do it. Otro, por favor. And that's what we did with Cynthia and with Marisa. The transformation is not about getting more tools. Mm-mm. Did you feel like I just need more tools? You don't need more tools. We need skills, which is different. Skills is different than tools. Skills is different than tools. I could give you a hammer, but you would not be able to build a house if you don't have the skill to build a house. Coaching develops those skills. Peace comes when we are capable of reading early signs and calming down little storms. This is Chelsea. She was dealing with so many power struggles every single day. Her two kids were fighting like crazy. And this is what she's saying now. Por favor. And by the way, we are about to go to element number 3, which is the positive aspect, the positive discipline aspect. How to educate or equip our children with better ways instead of the hitting, the tantrum, the crying, with better ways to express their needs. That's next. Por favor.
My kids, it was always the fights and the power struggles and the yelling. With the information that I was getting and I was utilizing it in myself and my parenting, the power struggles were going away. The yelling was going away. The family dynamic was just a lot easier.
Her husband was not even on board the first weeks of coaching. And then he started seeing that the kids were listening to Chelsea a lot easier. So he came on board to coaching with us. They finished together strong and they changed their family forever. From my experience as a parenting coach, what I've seen is that a lot of the times spouses who are the non-followers of social media and gentle parenting content, they're not on board not because they don't want to raise their children respectfully, is because the model they see from their spouses is very permissive model. Once they start seeing that the kids are listening to the spouse, to the wife or the husband a lot better, and once they see that the power struggles are going away, and once they see that, hey, I yell, but my wife doesn't yell, and the kids listen to her better, they start coming on board. A lot of the times after the first week of coaching or the second week, and we've seen it many times, all the time. Otro, por favor. Skill number 3. Out of the 3 skills, all 3 skills are necessary. And by the way, if you don't have mindset skills, if you don't know, understand the need, there is no way that you could be effective with this last skill. If you don't know how to calm down little storms, there is no way you will be effective with this skill number 3. So all skills complement each other. But out of the 3 skills, this is my favorite because that's when we start seeing tangible results with our kids. And it's the skill of positive discipline. What is this? Vamos a la otra, por favor. Let's talk about the difference between putting out fires versus positive discipline. So I'm going to give you the different ways that parents, and me included back in the day, are putting out fires and what real positive discipline is to see real changes in behaviors. Otro, por favor. And please take these putting out fires example as with a lot of compassion and empathy towards yourself. If you do one of these things, you are not screwing up your kids if you are actively trying to do better. So yeah, just take it with a lot of compassion towards yourself. Putting out fire tactic number 1 is spanking and corporal punishment. If you have a spouse that believes in that, take a picture of this, post it on the stories, tag me at High Impact Club, and tag your husband or wife, or just send it to them because this is valuable. Otro, por favor. Why is this putting out a fire? The spanking, corporal punishment, swatting children. They learn that solving disagreements with physical pain is acceptable. Research has shown that problematic behaviors may increase. So you are going to stop the right now behavior, but it will show in a different behavior later on. You might stop the sibling aggression now, but later on you might dealing with a child hitting the dog. So it transfers. They comply from their fear centers and not their learning centers. So they might comply because they're scared of you. Do you want your children to be scared of you? Not because they're learning. Children develop a power over conception of what authority should look like. And according to studies from Yale University, they are more likely to have mental health issues in the future. Were you spanked growing up? If yes, raise your hand or raise both. I raise both of my hands. Were you spanked growing up? Otro, por favor. I thought I turned out fine even after being spanked until I became a mom and I noticed I didn't turn out fine. The spanking did not do good to me. I'm not good because of spanking. I'm a good parent and a good person despite of spanking. Putting out fires number 2, yelling or harsh tone. They won't listen unless I yell. Let's see why is this just putting out a fire. Otro, por favor. I was afraid of them. Children create the belief that yelling is the way they can be heard. So they yell, they replicate the behavior they see. They replicate the behavior either with you or with their siblings or with their peers or at school. Yelling has been shown to increase anxiety, lower self-esteem, and increase aggression. And yelling produces a stress response that shuts down logic and reasoning and increases the likelihood of shooting up your children to meltdowns. Remember, that's behavior level number 4. Were you yelled at growing up? I was yelled at. Yeah, I was yelled at. Name calling. Yeah. And a lot of the times thinking about it, my behaviors were part of my autistic diagnosis, but I grew up undiagnosed. Were you yelled at for things that were just part of your diagnosis? If yes, say yes. Otro, por favor. Time out. There is a lot of controversy and misinformation regarding timeout. One thing is timeout, another thing is cool down time. Cool down time is like, okay, you guys are arguing with each other too much. Let's take a break from each other, Santiago and Miguel. And mom is gonna be here helping you take a break. That's different from go to your room and think about what you did. And don't come on till I said so. How would you feel if your boss told you that when you made a mistake? Go to your office and don't come on till I tell you to come out and think about what you did. How would you feel? How would that feel? Otro, por favor. They learn to appear calm on the outside without being calm on the inside, because they would do anything to get out of that timeout corner. And if they have to stop crying to get out of that timeout corner, they will, not because they're calm, but because they want to regain connection with you guys. They learn that emotions aren't safe to show others and don't learn how to properly process them. If I show I'm upset, I might be sent to timeout and I don't like it. So I'm going to learn to stuff down my emotions. Did you learn that growing up? To stuff down your emotions? Showing emotions was not safe. Was that you? Say yes or no. They learn we only accept them when they behave how we want. Marcela, but I put them in a timeout and then I explain to them why they're in a timeout and that's how they learn. If the explanation and the teaching taught them, why do they need to be in a timeout? If they're old enough to understand reasons, why do you take them, put them in a timeout? Or if they're not, or if they're too young to understand why they're in a timeout, why do you put them in a timeout? Something to think about, right? Otro, por favor. Putting out fires, bribes and rewards. There is a great book. It's called Punished by Rewards. Punished by Rewards. It says that bribes and rewards are two signs, no, bribes and rewards and punishment are two sides of the same coin. And the coin is called fear. So this is punishment. I behave because I fear to get a punishment that hurts me. And the other side of the coin, I behave because I fear not getting a reward, not being rewarded. It's the same coin, fear. Let's look at the consequences of bribes and rewards. Otro, por favor. Children become externally motivated by fear of not getting the reward or bribe. So they would not do anything unless there is something in return. They struggle to do what is right unless they are given a reward. The current reward will lose its magic after a while and the child will demand a bigger reward. It always happens. Has that happened to you? You offer a reward, a sticker or whatever, and the sticker needs to get bigger and bigger every single time, or you have to pair it up with something else to work. It doesn't teach. It doesn't teach. It doesn't teach. It just, well, yes, it teaches the wrong thing. It teaches the manipulation, and they will use it. You will get it back. I will do it if you give me A, B, or C. You taught them that? I used to be a briber. That was one of my things back in the day before I learned positive discipline. Let's talk about positive discipline real quick. And by the way, if you need help figuring out positive discipline with your particular child who has a very specific personality, diagnosis, sibling dynamic, or whatever, or with your particular self because you get frustrated and you yell, take advantage of the free assessment session. So we can help you, so we can see what's going on in your parenting and help you address it from the root. It's not coaching, because coaching is we have a plan, we're applying it with you every single week. We are working directly in your parenting. The assessment is more clarity for you to know what you need and what you're lacking and where to move from there. And if you want to keep with us in coaching, we'll let you know how it will look like. But if you don't want to stay with us in coaching, you leave with a great assessment under your belt. It's worth it. It's very worth it. At any point, you can scan the QR code, or the link is in the chat as well. Fill up the questionnaire. Hey, don't say just 2 words on the questionnaire. Just fill it out with good wording, like good context for us, because we take those questions and we literally study those questions and to help you best. So we get and go to the session prepared. Make sure that you're in a distraction-free place, that you're not at the park, that you're not driving, that you're not in line at the grocery store. Come on, we're gonna be in our office giving you our individualized attention for a full hour. So we just expect you to respond back with the same kind of respect and consideration for our work. Otro, por favor. Putting out fires is focused on how do I pronounce this? Extinguishing. Extinguishing the current behavior that pops up later. Positive discipline is focused on teaching skills, so the future is different. Listen to this. Maybe you missed this, but this is it. This is gold, right? This is the cornerstone of positive discipline. Punishment, putting out fires, which is punishment, focuses on the past. Because you did this, then now you're in a timeout. Because you did this, then you're going to get a spanking. Because you did this, then you're not going to have this reward. Positive discipline doesn't focus on the past, it focuses on the future. Okay, this happened. What's the skill that I need to build for the future? So the future is different. Do you see the difference? One thing is, you got a 0 in that test. You're so lazy. You're so dumb. You're not gonna have ice cream on the weekend because you're so lazy and you failed your test. That's different from, oh, you failed a test. Okay, let's assess what happened and let's create a plan. So you learn the skills you need. So the next test is a success for you. Do you see the difference between them two? If yes, say yes, I see the difference. Or no, I don't see the difference. This is Marcela, you're not explaining right. Either way, I want to know. Otro, por favor. What corrects behavior the long term, guys? Parents is teaching children the skills to express their feelings and needs in a more appropriate way. Because remember, the hitting, the kicking, the slapping, the throwing, all those things are a need. We need to unveil the need. S, nervous system dysregulation. We need to settle them down from their early stages so things are not a meltdown. And E, they're lacking skills, so we need to develop the skill, equipping them, educating them on their skill. And thus, guys, the use process to correct any behavior with ease. Otro, por favor. Let me give you another example. My son, he was playing piano. They are in piano lessons, and he was getting all goofy and kind of like too goofy. Goofy, not listening. Are your children like that? That when sometimes they're not, they are deliberately not listening, goofy. Are your children like that? Not goofy listening, but they're goofy. They're not yelling and mad, but they're just goofy, not listening, messing around. They're messing around. So yes, my son was messing around, not listening to the teacher, doing whatever. And my mother-in-law was there. And then she said, Santi, if you need to listen to the teacher, otherwise I'm just going to take Miguel to get ice cream. Santi went from being goofy to having a meltdown. What happened here? 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 The need. Let's go back to the U.S.E. U, unveiling the need. We unveiled the need and we noticed that Santi was feeling nervous because he was not quite understanding the lesson. And S, he was already agitated, anxious, level 2 behavior, level 2, and that's why he was goofy. So that goofiness was anxiety. E, what's the skill, the missing skill? The missing skill there is that he was not speaking up and letting the teacher know that he was not understanding. So understanding this U.S.E process, I talked to the teacher. I say, hey, I don't think Santi's understanding the lesson. And that goofiness is that he's already anxious, agitated. I'm not understanding S, settling children down from their stress responses. The goofy behavior not listening is a stress response. It's not an uppercase storm meltdown, but it is a lowercase anxious stress response. So S is settling children down from those. So I said, hey, the goofiness, Mr. Earl, is because he's already anxious. He doesn't want to fail. He wants to do well, but he's not understanding the lesson. And then E, how are we going to help Santi educate, equip him with the skills to speak up? And then Mr. Earl had a brilliant idea. I love Mr. Earl. He's such an amazing coach and piano teacher, etc. And he said, okay, if that's the case, I have an idea. I'm going to have a physical cue with Santi. So every time he's not understanding something, he can let me know without notifying his twin, because he wants to be looking like he knows what he's doing next to his twin brother. They did so. And guess what happens? The goofiness went down. He started listening. And the threat of not eating ice cream, that went out the window. That wasn't what corrected his behavior. What corrected his behavior was understanding the needs, settling him down, and educating him on better ways of communicating his needs, which is speaking up when he wasn't understanding something. Otro, por favor. But there is something, guys. We can try to apply the use process all day long. But if we are bouncing back and forth between being a secure parent and being an unresourced parent with timeout, bribes, yelling, and spanking, there is no use process that will ever work if children expect that at some point you're going to go back the same way that happened to Marcus. We need to go all in. We need to commit to go all in. Otro, por favor. What are you going to do next time your child is demanding to have something you already said no and you feel anger rising up? What are you going to do? Have the things you've done really helped you not lose it later on? Otro. What you are learning only works when you apply, listen to this, the use process on yourself. If you are angry, yelling, not knowing how to manage your emotions and needs, not modeling the behavior you want to see, that's speaking instead of yelling, calming down before lashing out, and treating others with kindness, there is no way the use process will work for your children. We need to show our children the use process from within. Otro, por favor. The use process only works when you work towards becoming a secure parent. Otro, por favor. Dr. Bruce Perry said, a dysregulated adult will never regulate a dysregulated child. Otro. Parenting coaching, guys, was the game changer for me. I was trying so much to apply on my own, but you can only DIY it until a certain extent. If we would not send our kids to a school where teachers got their degree from TikTok and Instagram, why would we settle down from getting our parenting development just from watching reels and watching TikToks? Zanaira, could you please mute yourself? Otro, por favor. 14,151 parents became secure parents with our coaching support. Parents from all different backgrounds. Sona, a single mom going through a tough divorce, and she went from constant fights with her 12-year-old daughter to feeling calm and secure. Ariel, 4 kids, one of them a baby, a newborn. And she went from going nuts every single day at bedtime to feeling peaceful. Megan and Anthony, they were fighting over parenting all the time, not agreeing with each other. And once they understood how to work as a team, they became a peaceful family. Miranda, she's a military wife, parenting solo most of the time, spanking her kids. And she starts spanking and yelling after she went through a coaching process with us to embody this use process. Cynthia, you already know. Cynthia Kenny, he's a Canadian Chinese father who did not believe in gentle parenting at all, who was dragged by his wife to this work, and he became a secure parent in 10 weeks. Victoria, a special needs parent, her son used to be kicked out of schools. And now he's able to be okay in a school and navigate the school successfully, not because he changed, but because Victoria became a secure parent with our coaching support. And the same way, Kelly, Lisa, Amanda, Chelsea, Jenny, and 14,151 more parents. Otro, por favor. Eric is a special needs parent. He was fearing getting a divorce. But once he went through parenting coaching and he embodied these skills in his family with our help, everything changed for him. Por favor, pongan a Eric.
Here for us, so like see where Helen's going with her behaviors, because we've experienced it before, and now we've got tools to understand what's happening and how to intercede the right way, so we don't end up with like a 5-year-old or 6-year-old or 7-year-old that we can't manage because we didn't know what to do when she was 3. So I think I feel more confident that we're going to have an easier time with Helen as she goes through this stage for development.
I'm very curious about something. How do you think your life would be if you didn't have parenting coaching at all?
I don't know, homeless, divorced. Like, who knows? I don't want to think about how another year of further misery would have been for us.
Wow.
And there is reason to hope, and there is progress that's identifiable.
What would it do for your family if you became a secure, connected parent next month? Peace. Lali said peace. Otro, por favor. A house full of love. Lali, information is just that. This class, I already gave you our framework. This is all our framework. But information alone doesn't change our families. How are things going by trying it on your own? If you are tired of not seeing results and backtracking after a few days of applying information you learn in classes like this, it's not your fault. It's pretty hard to succeed at something without the hands-on guidance and clear step by step from professionals who do this every single day and know how to get you there faster and quicker. Otro, por favor. If you are committed to becoming a secure parent who understands their child's needs, who has emotional regulation skills to put down Leo storms, to put out Leo storms, to stop Leo storms before they become uppercase storms, and to be emotionally regulated during those storms so children don't expect the blow up. If you are committed to be a parent with positive discipline skills to raise children who are secure and who know how to communicate their needs and feelings pro-socially without hitting, without yelling, without all those behaviors. If you are ready to have a peaceful home but just don't know how to get there on your own, this is my last invitation to book your free one-on-one assessment session. Just scan the QR code. The link is in the chat. This is a free session, one-on-one. We'll be there with you for a full hour, working directly on understanding what's going on in your family, what's happening in your particular dynamic, what's keeping you in the reactive zone, what are your children's needs and feelings and your own needs, what your goals are. And from there, we will give you our personal recommendation to help you raise your children with peace as a secure parent. So you can scan the QR code or the link is in the chat. So go to the link in the chat. It will take you to a questionnaire. Fill up that questionnaire and we will study it for the session. At the end of the session, if you want to continue with us in coaching, we will let you know how it would look like. If you don't want to continue with us in coaching, you can say, no, thank you. I already have my recommendation. And we'll depart ways with a smile in our face because we know that we helped you figure this thing out. Otro, por favor. I have a gift for all of you guys, regardless if you book your free session or not, regardless, because you are here with me live, I have a gift for you. This is the Coping Strategies Guide. So this guide is $57 on our website, but I'm going to gift it to you for being with me until the very, very end. And this guide is basically different tools to work with our kids to help them with their big emotions. And it's strategically for toddlers and up to 7 years old, not for teenagers, for Leo kids. So to claim your coping strategies, please take a picture of this slide so you have the instructions. Number 1, after this class, email info@hicparenting.com. Number 2, give us a positive review about this class. I don't want, hey, the class was great. Where is my coping strategies? No, just tell us how was the eye-opening moments that you had and how it could serve you in your parenting moving forward. Give us a good review. And number 3, we'll reply back with the info to access your coping strategies guide. And it is just a gift that I want to give you for being with us until the very end. Federico, ¿cómo vamos con las booking calls?
Voy. Tengo que cerrar la presentación para ver. No puedo ver.
Oh, ok.
Ya
Jessica,
te
¿puedes
digo.
ver tú? So you email info at
Yeah.
hicparenting.com, Mariana, and then you basically email us your review and we will reply back. This gift expires today. So if you email us tomorrow, you won't earn the gift. So the gift is for today only. Good. Let's go back. Okay. Yeah. So Federico, ¿cuántas quedan? Okay. ¿Cómo estamos la cosa?
Ya te digo.
Let's go back to the QR code, please. Hey guys, open your mics, please. Federico, haga que los mics funcionen. Open the
Ya.
mics. You haven't had a chance. Mariana, book your call now. If you want your assessment session to happen, because we book out so fast, and after this class, even faster, because all the people who are coming to watch the replay are going to try to book a call. Only the ones who are like it, the first access, and they can choose the time and a date. The ones who are watching the replays, they usually end up on waiting lists, or they just have what we have left in terms of availability. So it might not be the time that works for them. I will have to wait to ask my husband's schedule. Okay, Janelle. So, maybe you can text him right now, or maybe you can guess. If you know he's usually free in the nights, go in the calendar right now and see if we have a night availability. Okay, going to make it right now. Yes. So Janelle, this is my recommendation. If you know that your husband is usually off in the night, just do a night call or a morning call. And if for some reason he's not able to make it that day, just text us or email us back, and then we will try to reschedule a different time. We will respect your call, though. Yeah. Any other question about the class, about the assessment session, about anything? Any other question? Any other question about the things that you learned today or the assessment session? Fede, ¿cómo estamos aquí, pues?
No, quedan 27
Okay.
espacios.
Okay, so we still have 27 spaces. So all of you, all 24 of you should book a call. Because how I said, with the replay, all the 100 and something people who register are going to be watching the replay and taking up spaces. So that's my recommendation. Just go right now, scan the QR code, or go to the link in the chat and book your one-on-one assessment session. If you have hesitations about it, just ask your question right now. I want to solve your concerns. Do you think that having two separate households will hinder the process? We work with single parents every single day. Sona, the one of the testimonials I showed, she's a single parent household. The husband or the ex-husband is a narcissist, so obviously he was not coming on board to the process. And she lived great transformation with her kids. Because according to research, Lali, it only takes one secure parent to raise a secure child. So would you rather, like, just imagine if you were a kid, would you rather have at least one secure parent, or all, like, both of your parents to feel lost and not know what to do and feel reactive? Does that make sense? You're very hopeful? Yes. If you have any hesitation about booking your session, or if you have any question about anything that you learn in this class, this is your question. This is your time to ask your question. You can unmute and ask your question, or you can type it in the chat. We are here a few more minutes. It sounds like everything was very clear because nobody's asking questions. have to go now, but thank you for a wonderful class. Did you guys enjoy the class? Was it
It was a
valuable?
great class, very helpful.
What did you get out of it? Or like when you say it's great class, what do you mean by that?
It's giving me hope to be able to navigate how to listen to my son's or understand my son's feelings. I understand that they're toddlers, they're feeling a lot, and obviously our parents never took the time to listen to us when we were little, and it helps not just as a parent now, but and it makes me emotional. It helps me forgive my parents for when they were
Oh,
raising us,
so it
because
was healing.
yes, it was healing. That's
Mm,
the word. It helped on both ends. It's helping me to want to break the chains with my son, and it's helping me forgive my parents for what they did in their time. And I
yeah,
literally
yeah,
gave
yeah.
my mother a hug just now and said, "I love you and I forgive you,"
Mm,
because we're both
yeah.
listening in. So,
You're right,
thank you
Sandra. You know something? Our parents, most of them, did the best they could with the
for
resources
sure.
and the knowledge they had.
All right.
My parents were very loving, but they did spank me. And if they knew, and my mom told me, if I knew what I know now from the things you teach me, I wouldn't spank you. But
Right.
she did because she didn't know any better. So I
Yes.
understand. Sandra,
Yes.
I'm very curious. Did you book your 101
I
session?
did. Yes, ma'am. I have it for Friday.
Yay!
Yes.
How do I do dancing emojis? Let me see. I'm learning this Mac
The in and
PC.
outs. There you go.
There you go.
There's the confetti.
I just booked. I wish it was after Holy Week, but there was no availability, and I want to take advantage of this. Yes, our calendar, guys, is usually very tight because just imagine something. Um, we have a big following. We have 900,000 on TikTok, 300,000 on Instagram, 123,000 on Facebook, 17,000 on YouTube. We have a podcast of 2 years and people wanting to talk to us. Like it gets crazy. And I want to apologize in advance because we don't have enough team to cover the demand. We don't. And we are in the process of hiring and training. Right now, we're working with a recruiter who is helping us find the best talent. I'm so picky though. Like they're frustrated with me because I keep turning down because I need to have the perfect team. I cannot have just, I need to have the team that reflects me, that reflects my values, that reflects my style, that reflects my level of knowledge. And so we're getting there little by little, but the team that we have is so amazing. And whoever advisor is on the call with you, that person is going to take such a good care of you. And I'm very so proud of HIC parenting team. I couldn't do what I do by myself. I could not serve all the clients by myself, that's for sure. It's okay to appreciate this much. I have been following you on Facebook for some time now. I'm finally pulled the trigger to do it. Yes, Mariana, that's so great. That's awesome. Okay, so we're about to say bye-bye. Remember that take a picture of the QR code so you have it on your phone so you don't lose it after we are off this live. And later on, when you can go in and hopefully you can find a spot if you have not booked your call. Remember, let's go back to the gift. Otra vez al gift. Otra vez al gift, Federico. Otra vez al gift, a lo último. Fede se durmió. Ay, Fede se durmió. He fell asleep. I know you didn't fall asleep. So remember to claim your gift. This is only offered to live attendees. So if you're watching the replay, I'm sorry, it's not for you. So all the ones who are here live, go to the email info@hicparenting.com, give us a positive review about this class, and we'll reply back with the info to access this resource, and it expires today. Thank you so much for being here. And
Thank you, Marcela.
let's go back to the main room real quick. I want to. This is what I want to do. I want to take a picture. Could you please, if you feel comfortable being on my stories, open your camera for a little bit? I want to see beautiful faces, beautiful parents. I want to see beautiful parents. Open your cameras, please. I'm the only one in the camera. Open your cameras. Sandra, okay. Sandra, who else? Open the camera. Janelle, Lali. I always wonder, like, how do they look like? I see their names. I see their, now I know, I love seeing their faces. Zaira. Okay, so let's take a Leo Boomerang. A Leo Boomerang. Let me go to the Boomerang option. And we're going to wave hello. Hold on. Hey, open your cameras, please. And wave hello, hello, hello. Okay, guys. Thank you so much for coming. And I want to tell you something. You don't need more tools. You don't need more tips and hacks. What you need is these 3 skills. That's all you need to apply these 3 skills. And you will break free from reactivity and parent your children with a lot more peace. I promise you, because I've seen it the last 5 years of my career. Autistic families, ADHD families, families with just strong-willed kids. I've seen it. I see it every single day in my coaching practice. You guys are amazing parents, and I cannot wait to see you in the assessment session. Bye, everybody.